What is up, everybody? Today I will be showing you how to change the oil in any Toyota Corolla from the year 2003 through 2008. According to your owner's manual, this should be done every 5,000 miles, but most mechanics will tell you to change your oil every 3,000 miles or 4 months, whichever comes first. Before we get started, let's go over what you are going to need for this project. You are of course going to need the oil filter and oil. I recommend using a K&N brand wrench-off oil filter as they have amazing filtration and easy installation and replacement. I also recommend using Valvaline brand Pure Plus 5W30 oil. 5W30 is of course the type of oil Toyota recommends you to run in this type of car, but Valvaline Pure Plus oil is by far the best oil you can get for your car. Next, I also recommend the use of a sheet of cardboard to keep your garage floor or driveway safe from any accidental spills. You will also need a waste pan to collect the old oil from your vehicle, and a socket wrench with a 3/4 inch socket to remove the oil drain bolt. If you are using the K&N brand oil filter that I am using in the video, I also recommend the use of a 1-inch socket for easier removal and installation of the filter. Otherwise, an oil filter wrench will work just fine. I like to use a funnel to aid in the pouring of the new oil, but it is not required. And finally, I will be supporting the car with a floor jack and jack stands. If you prefer to use ramps, however, that works just as well. If you need any of the supplies I listed here, I will have links in the description to where you can purchase all of these things except the cardboard. To get things started, place cardboard on the ground where you will be working and move your car over top of it so that the oil pan, which is on the passenger side of the vehicle, in front of the strut, is right above it. The next step is to pop open the hood of the vehicle. You will find the release latch for the hood on the inside of the car on the driver's side of the vehicle, right under the dash by the door. Lift the latch towards you to release the hood. After you have opened the hood, you can remove the oil cap from the top of the engine. You can save this step for right before you add the new oil if you prefer, but I like to do it right away. Once you have the oil cap off, it is time to support and lift your car. Position the floor jack underneath the jack support in the middle of the car as shown here, and lift the car up high enough for you to work comfortably underneath your car. After you have jacked your car up, place jack stands under the car. I prefer to place them on the flat plate of metal right after the strut connect. Make sure when finding a spot to place the jack stands that it is in a spot that can support the weight of the car after you remove the floor jack. Also be sure that the jack stand on the passenger side is in a position that the waste oil pan can be directly under the vehicle's oil pan. This will help prevent oil from spilling all over. With the jack stands in place, now you can slowly release the floor jack so that the car sits on the jack stands rather than the floor jack. Never work under a vehicle that is only supported by a floor jack. Hydraulics are unreliable, and trusting them to support your vehicle while you work is very dangerous. With the car sitting on the jack stands, place the waste oil pan underneath the vehicle's oil pan. Use the 3/4 inch socket to loosen the drain bolt from the car's oil pan until you can turn it with your fingers and unscrew it completely with your hand. Set the drain bolt aside in a place that it won't get dirty and let the oil pan drain out until it is empty. This should take about 3 minutes. Once the oil has drained completely, you can replace the drain bolt in the oil pan, making sure to tighten it down. Now it is time to remove the oil filter. This is located right in front of the oil pan. If you have a K&N filter in your car, you can use a 1-inch socket to remove the oil filter from your car. Otherwise, you can use an oil filter wrench. If you are lucky, however, you might be able to unscrew it with just your hand. You will want to move the waste oil pan to be under the oil filter before you remove it because more oil will come out from where the filter is attached. Once you have removed the oil filter, wait for the oil to finish draining from there and then screw on the new oil filter, making sure it is snugly tightened. It is a good idea to moisten the gasket of the filter with just a little bit of oil so it creates a good seal. With all the oil drained out and the new filter attached, now it is time to add the new oil. The manual says to add 4.4 quarts of oil, and to measure that we will keep track of where we are by checking the dipstick. Once you have added the appropriate amount of oil, replace the oil cap on the engine and close the hood. This next step is not necessarily required, but one to get in a good practice of. Get in your car and start it up. If you have an automatic car, try shifting through all the different gears, letting it sit in each gear for a few seconds. If you have a manual car, try giving the engine varying amounts of low-level throttle blips. This will help get the oil circulated through the engine before you take your car out for the first time after changing the oil. After you have finished your oil change, pour your waste oil into an empty jug and take it to the nearest place you can go to recycle waste oil. Walmart and AutoZone will gladly take it, and recycling your waste oil will help to keep the cost of oil low. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you found this video to be helpful, please drop a like, and while you're in the area, how about subscribing as well? I will be continuing to upload maintenance and repair videos related to this type of car. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.